From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, June the 1st, 2017. The Embassy of the United States in Israel will not be moving from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, at least not for now. U.S. President Donald Trump, during his presidential campaign, had spoken several times of relocating the embassy to Jerusalem in what would symbolize recognition of Jerusalem as Israel's capital. However, the president signed a waiver today that keeps the embassy in Tel Aviv and delays any plan to relocate it for at least the next 6 months. The White House released a statement saying that while Trump did sign the waiver, no one should consider this step to be in any way a retreat from the president's strong support for Israel and for the United States-Israel alliance. Further saying that President Trump made this decision to maximize the chances of successfully negotiating a deal between Israel and the Palestinians, fulfilling his solemn obligation to defend America's national security interests. But as he has repeatedly stated his intention to move the embassy, the question is not if that move happens, but only when. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office expressed disappointment at the decision, saying that Israel's consistent position is that the American embassy, like the embassies of all countries with whom we have diplomatic relations, should be in Jerusalem, our eternal capital, saying that maintaining embassies outside the capital drives peace further away by helping keep alive the Palestinian fantasy that the Jewish people and the Jewish state have no connection to Jerusalem. Regarding the waiver signed today, the PMO said, that though Israel is disappointed that the embassy will not move at this time, we appreciate today's expression of President Trump's friendship to Israel and his commitment to moving the embassy in the future. An Israeli soldier was lightly wounded in a terror attack this morning in the West Bank. The incident took place outside the Jewish settlement of Mevod Dotan, whose closed caption footage captured some of what happened, though not the stabbing itself. A young Palestinian woman approached IDF soldiers who were guarding the gate of the settlement. She then pulled out a knife and stabbed one of them and then ran. She was pursued by other IDF soldiers at the scene who shot her, and she sustained critical injuries. Both the terrorist and the 20-year-old injured soldier were treated at the scene and taken to the hospital for further treatment. Israel's Minister of Finance, Moshe Kahlon, made a rare trip to Ramallah in the West Bank last night to meet with Palestinian Authority Prime Minister Rami Hamdallah. Kahlon held the meeting in order to present several proposals aimed at building confidence in relations with the Palestinians, thought to be part of a renewed push for peace. Israel's Security Cabinet met and agreed to the measures just before U.S. President Donald Trump's visit to the region last month. They include opening the Allenby Bridge border crossing between the West Bank and Jordan 24 hours a day, more building permits for Palestinians living in Area C of the West Bank, and more development of industrial zones in the West Bank. A Palestinian town in the West Bank said it will not give in to pressure to rename a women's center which honors a terrorist. As we reported to you earlier this week, both the United Nations and the government of Norway withdrew their financial support for the center located in the city of Burqa when they found out that it was named after Dalal Mughrabi. Mughrabi, who was a member of the PLO, took part in the 1978 Coastal Road terror attack in Tel Aviv that left 38 Israelis dead, 13 of them children. Palestinian Authority news outlet Wafa reported today that the head of Burqa City Council, Sami Douglas, told them that local residents had chosen to commemorate a Palestinian hero who sacrificed herself for her country, and therefore they have no intention of changing its name regardless of the price. A convicted SS guard has died before he could begin serving time for his crimes. 95-year-old Reinhold was convicted last year and sentenced by a German court to 5 years in prison for his role as an accessory in the murder of at least 170,000 people in the Auschwitz-Birkenau death camp in Poland during the Holocaust. Hanning was appealing the ruling and was free at the time of his death on Tuesday. He He maintained throughout his trial that he did not participate in any mass murders at the death camp, but did express regret, saying that he was ashamed to have knowingly let injustice happen and that he did nothing to stop it. The European Parliament passed a resolution today to help combat anti-Semitism in Europe. It calls on European institutions and member states of the European Union to adopt and apply the working definition of anti-Semitism and calls for protections of the Jewish community and institutions from hate crimes and hate speech and promote Holocaust education, among other measures. World Jewish Congress President Reinhold commended the passage. He said it is high time that a concerted and strong effort is made across Europe to stamp out bigotry and hatred of Jews. He said if the Jews are forced to leave Europe because of anti-Semitism, it would be sad for the Jews, but it would be a disaster for Europe. Lauder urged the resolution to be quickly implemented by all member states and by EU institutions. And taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Thursday, June the 1st. At 7 o'clock, it's Talmud Study with Rabbi Mordechai Becher. At 7:30 from the Aleph Bet. At 8 o'clock, Yedidia Koren of the Shalom Hartman Institute of North America talks about the role non-Jews can play in Jewish community ritual and the Torah at large. At 9, Mark Golub sits down with Moshe Avital, who survived Auschwitz and Buchenwald to become one of the children of Buchenwald, on tonight's L'chaim. And at 10:30, award-winning filmmaker Michael King, director of The Rescuers, a documentary on heroic diplomats who rescued Jews during the Holocaust, sits with Judy Gelman-Myers on New Jewish Cinema. And coming up right after this newscast tonight at 6:30, it's In the News with Mark Golub. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, June the 1st, 2017. I'm Teisha Bader.